Welcome to Anna's Place Bakery. What's cracking?
So Anna,
Yeah.
when did you start baking?
So I started baking when I was 16 years old. So 2015, in the summer of 2015 is when I really got into it and started sharing pictures and food with my neighbors, with my friends. Yeah.
Do you remember the first thing you ever baked?
Ooh. The first thing I ever baked in my whole life.
Yeah.
I feel like it was probably bread or something with my mom.
What about the first thing you baked and sold?
The first thing I baked and sold that I can remember, I actually made about 5 dozen cupcakes for my friend's wedding. So that was awesome.
Okay, what's your most favorite thing you've ever baked? Categories: looks, taste, and process. Like you enjoyed making it the most.
Okay, look-wise, my favorite thing I've baked would be probably a wedding cake I did over the summer of 2020. It was a chocolate naked cake with succulents on it. That was probably my favorite one. I love the way that looks. Taste-wise, my favorite has been, I've made a lot of lemon cakes. Lemon cakes are my favorite. So I love super tart cakes. The process I've liked the most while I've baked has probably been, I made a Captain America shield and the inside of the cake was an American flag. So that one was awesome, and sneak peek to future cakes being made, I will share about how to do that. But that one has been my favorite one to do. It's really fun.
Have you ever had a disaster story?
Okay, the first disaster story that came to my mind was actually my very first YouTube video I did. I was making an eggnog buttercream and I made it was too liquidy. But I thought, I don't know. I just didn't think about it. And I put my cake on, I was doing the crumb coat and my cake just started slipping and it was terrible. Luckily, like, I redid it and the freezer is my best friend. So it worked out fine. The most surprising request from a client, let me think about this for a minute. I've made cakes for dogs for their birthdays. That's fun. The most surprising request, I had someone request a Dr. Pepper cake, and that was just the craziest flavor I've ever done so far. But that was awesome. I loved it.
Tell me about the jobs you've had that help you be a better baker.
Okay, so I actually started working in a bakery I started in April 2020, and I was in the back frosting, and that was a lot of fun. So I learned different techniques of piping skills, which was really good. And then another job I have worked at another cheesecake place, and I was the assistant baker there. And so I learned a lot about cheesecake, which is a really difficult cake to master, and just to bake in general. So that was really fun to learn. And currently I am working at a bed and breakfast as the head baker, head cook, doing the breakfast there. And so I've been able to use my creativity more and come up with new menu items, and I even am baking for them on the side, so I make personal cakes for the clients that do come to the bed and breakfast, which is a lot of fun as well. I can take their ideas and make it come to life.
Where do you see yourself in your baking in 5 years?
Okay, in 5 years, I see myself in my baking as something that's still on the side. I don't know if I want to have a bakery quite yet. I'm still finishing school, and I like baking on the side, making it more of a passion and keeping it as a passion instead of a career right now. So I still see it in 5 years as something that would be similar to that.
Tell me your favorite frosting type and flavor.
Ooh, okay, my favorite frosting type is an Italian buttercream. I like the way it tastes and how it sets on a cake. My favorite flavor of buttercream, coconut. I really like coconut.
Do you taste everything you bake?
When it comes to tasting my stuff, usually I'll bake things in advance and sample things. But usually when it's done, and if I've just made it for fun, I don't normally eat it. Which is kind of weird, but I don't know. There's something about making your own food and just not wanting to eat it. I like when other people make it for me.
So you taste it to make sure it's good, but you don't eat all your leftovers.
Right, yeah.
Who's your favorite baker?
Okay, my favorite baker his name is Adriano Zumbo. He's actually from Australia. I think maybe that's why I like him, because Australia has a special place in my heart. But you can check out his Netflix shows. He's a judge on a few different baking shows, competition shows, and he also has his own competition show. It's called Zumbo's Just Desserts, and he's just incredible. The way he makes mind-blowing creations, and it's incredible. So I aspire to be him. He's really amazing at what he does.
What's your favorite recipe you've ever made?
My favorite recipe I have ever made is I recreated a banana gluten-free cake, a gluten-free banana cake. I really love that one. But there's also there's also a chocolate cake that I've done that's really moist, and usually I don't like chocolate cakes, but this one's really good.
What's your least favorite flavor?
Okay, my least favorite flavor is probably chocolate.
That's so weird.
It's weird, and I don't know why, but if given the choice between vanilla and chocolate, I would always choose vanilla.
If you could pick anyone in the whole world, alive or dead, to make a cake or dessert for, who would you do it for?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so if I could make a cake for anyone alive right now, I would maybe choose Amanda Gorman. She is an amazing poet, and I just fell in love with her poetry and the way she speaks. So that's probably who I'd choose. Okay, if I could bake a cake for anyone who's dead, it would probably be Chadwick Boseman. Yeah.
Would you make it Black Panther themed?
I would probably do a Black Panther theme just for him. He's awesome. He's a great actor. He's had great success in his career, but also helping out in different other organizations. My least favorite thing to bake would probably be cookies. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've never been super great at them. I love that you can have so many different types of flavors, and it's all based on, like, there's a base recipe and you can add whatever you want to that. I love that idea, but I don't know. I just don't find a lot of joy in baking cookies.
What about your favorite item to bake?
My favorite item to bake would probably be macarons. I don't do that very often, but I love doing it. It's a tricky technique to get down, so I need to practice it more, but those are fun.
Do you have a hard time making things for people who have dietary restrictions?
So dietary restrictions can be kind of tricky, just because the science behind baking, it has to be pretty exact to come out correctly. So when you have to bake something for a dietary you have to figure out all the science behind that certain ingredient you have to replace and what you can add that will fit to those restrictions. But luckily today we live in a time where food science is it's increasing. It's becoming a lot easier to find stuff that you can use to bake you can use in your baking for any type of restriction you have. So I don't find it super tricky. It's mostly just learning what you can and can't use for certain needs. Would I describe baking as an art or a science? I would probably describe it as a science. And the reason I would say that is because you have so many different types of ingredients that react differently when you add them together, and knowing the chemicals, knowing the chemistry of each ingredient is really important so that you come out with the best ingredient possible. But then I would also argue that it is an art because once you begin to decorate, that's when the art side of it comes in. So yeah, it's kind of tied up for me, but I'd probably lean more towards the science side. Okay, so if you want to start baking but you're not sure where to start, I would definitely suggest YouTube. There are so many different types of videos you can watch to learn how to bake. But also, just don't be afraid to try it. Baking scares people a lot of the time because it's easy to mess up because things have to be so exact, but don't be afraid of that. Just try it out and have fun with it. If someone wanted to start a baking YouTube channel, I would tell them just go for it. That's kind of what I did. I was talking with family and they were just like, Anna, you should start a YouTube channel. And so I did. And I didn't give it much thought, honestly. But it's been really fun for me to learn all the inside tricks of YouTube. And it's taught me a lot about how to explain things better. And I don't know, it's pushed me out of my comfort zone. So I would say, again, just go for it. And if it's something that scares you, just do it. 20 seconds of insane courage is all it takes. I really like the idea of being able to create something that not only tastes good, but it also looks good. And food has always been something that's brought people together. So I love making people happy and bringing families together. But I also love just being able to be creative and kind of unlock that creativity that's blocked away in my brain, and use that to share it with other people. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed getting to know me a bit better. Go ahead, comment down below if you have any questions I didn't answer, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button.